The year was 1589. A cold wind blew through the village of Bingen, nestled in the German hills. The villagers were afraid. A woman, Anna Maria von Stockhausen, lay dead, or so they thought. Whispers followed her in life, whispers of strange rituals, of meetings under the blood moon. Now the whispers spoke of something far worse: witchcraft, vampirism. Anna Maria had been different. Her beauty was striking, unnerving. Her eyes, a piercing blue, seemed to see into their souls. She lived alone in the old manor on the hill, a shadow hanging over the village. When cattle died, crops failed, and children fell ill, fingers pointed to Anna Maria. Her death, a sudden illness, brought little relief. The villagers, their fear turning to suspicion, noticed the unnatural flush on her cheeks, the small wound on her neck. The whispers grew louder. Anna Maria von Stockhausen was not dead. She was something else, something monstrous. The villagers knew what they had to do. They had to act before she rose again, before the whispers became screams. Panic seized the village. They carried Anna Maria's coffin to the graveyard. The priest performed the last rites, his voice trembling. They buried her deep under the cold, hard ground, but it wasn't enough. 3 days later, a shepherd swore he saw her by the river. Her eyes glowed in the moonlight. Fear gripped the village once more. They dug up her grave. The coffin was empty. They found her miles away, standing on the edge of the forest. Her eyes, cold and empty, stared through them. They tried again. This time they drove a stake through her heart. They buried her at a crossroads, weighted down with stones. Days turned into weeks. The village breathed a collective sigh of relief. Their nightmare was finally over. They were wrong. Anna Maria returned, pale and vengeful. Her eyes burned with an unholy fire. The villagers watched in terror as she walked through their streets, a spectre of their own making. The village lived in a perpetual state of terror. Sleep offered no escape, only nightmares of glowing eyes and blood-red lips. The line between reality and nightmare blurred. Every shadow seemed to hold Anna Maria. Every creak of the floorboard signaled her return. Children disappeared from their beds, only to be found later, drained of blood, their eyes wide with terror. Livestock died mysteriously, their bodies bearing strange, inexplicable marks. Fear became a tangible presence, suffocating the village, driving them to the brink of madness. The priest, his faith shaken, spoke of ancient evils, of sins that cast long shadows. He spoke of the need for drastic measures, for sacrifices to appease the vengeful spirit. But even his words rang hollow in the face of their growing fear. The villagers had become prisoners in their own homes, their fear a cage more confining than any dungeon. They were trapped, caught between the world they knew and the nightmare that was Anna Maria. News of the witch vampire of Bingen reached the ears of a famed vampire hunter, a man named Klaus Jäger. He arrived with his tools of the trade, stakes, silver crucifixes, and a Bible filled with ancient verses. He listened to their stories, his face grim. He examined the desecrated graves, the sites of the supposed attacks. Then he sought out Anna Maria. He found her in the ruins of her manor, a spectre in the moonlight. "You need not fear me," she said, her voice a mournful whisper. "I seek only peace." She made a request to be buried in her family crypt beneath the manor. Only then, she claimed, would her soul find rest. Klaus Jäger looked into her eyes. Were they the eyes of a monster, or of a woman wrongly accused? He had to make a choice, to follow his training, or to trust the word of a creature of darkness. His decision would decide the fate of Anna Maria, and perhaps the village of Bingen.